All right, here we go. Let's see. All right. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Put your name in the comments so I can give you a shout out. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Unruly Hour. Tonight, I am welcoming back one of my favorite guests, Vice Presidential Green nominee, Angela Walker. Congrats. Last time you were just hopeful. Now you are the nominee.
Yeah, this is an honor to be back. I was thinking before I came on about the fact that you were one of the first people to interview me. It's pretty awesome to be back.
That's incredible. That's really hard to believe. Wow. Um that's so awesome. I enjoyed having you so much, and I couldn't believe how real you were. I've interviewed like 200 candidates. I know who's being real, and it was, obvious from the very first second. So, as I said, you are now the Green nominee. I don't know how much you've seen. I don't know if you're being tagged or anything like that, but there are people who are posting pictures of their ballots saying, with the check mark. What's that like, seeing people who are like, look, tangibles, I voted for you?
It is the most massive, the most humbling thing to see that trust. And not just that, the fact that people believe in this platform, believe that it's possible, that is absolutely humbling.
Yeah, and I mean, when you break it down and you look at everything on your platform versus Biden's, what similarities? I find none.
I think the one place that they are trying, and I'm not even going to bite my tongue with it, I think the one place where they're trying to be like us is the decriminalization of marijuana. But I think
that surprised me when Joe said that last night on the town hall. I was like, what? Because he just not guess it was 9 months ago, he said it's a gateway drug.
Exactly. And to hear, and I actually didn't follow the town hall last night. I did watch their first debate fiasco, and then I watched the VP debate. And Senator Harris, mentioned more than once the decriminalization of marijuana, which I thought was interesting because before she had been asked about it, and she was like, yeah, I support it, but I'm not going to push Joe on it. And now all of a sudden, here we are. So I think that's the only place where they, we intersect. It's this little tiny intersection.
Yeah. The thing about Kamala, though, is she did smoke it before while listening to Tupac. So that, she's got that.
Is that what that was about? I never.
You never heard her say that?
I didn't know.
Oh my God. Yeah, she was on I think it was the Breakfast Club, and they asked her, did you ever smoke pot? And she said yes. And he said, do you ever listen to music while you did it? And she said, yeah, Tupac. And they said, but that happened after you were in college. And then she implies someone had a bootleg tape in their trunk.
Whatever worked, baby, whatever worked. However,
it was like a hot sauce moment for sure. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, you're failing. What do you think about, they have these new videos where, like, since I'm in Pennsylvania, I see this shit 24/7, these campaign ads. It seems like all of Biden's videos are now geared towards Black people or even
Imagine that.
people of, yeah, it's a lot of it's pandering. And now you see a lot of his campaign videos have rappers in them and stuff. Like
Oh,
he's repeating, come on, man. And then there's a beat. Come on, man. Beat. Come on, man. Like how serious. It's getting worse and worse.
seriously?
Oh
I
yeah.
don't I don't own a television. And so I'm just like, I'm out of touch with a whole lot of stuff. I had no
Oh,
really? That sounds hideous.
it's bad. It is absolutely horrible. I'm like, now I'm gonna not vote for you even harder. Because no.
Like actual rappers or like,
Oh yeah.
people
Oh, rappers.
really?
I forget some of their names. I can't think. I'll see if I can find an article and send it to you. I think
I'll
I
look
think
it up
one
because
of them was Shaggy or something.
are you serious?
Yeah, a couple of them were like way, way old.
That breaks my, because that's my generation. And I'm like, we really do this? I'm heartbroken.
I'll send you the article, but it was like 4 or 5 at least of them, and I'm like, what are they doing?
God, why? Oh, the humanity.
Oh my god. This election teaches you a lot. Like some of the actors and actresses I've loved for years, you look at their Twitter and you're like, unfollow. I can't
Mm.
unfollow. Um, and especially as a green, I'm sure you really go through that because nobody gets vote shamed more than burners and greens. We all just we're all Russian devils. So, and
Agents of the or Republican agents now, so that
yes,
they're doing that
yes.
too.
So I mean, I can't even fathom. I mean, I know how much I get it, but I can't even fathom. And when I see people being idiots, I try to jump in, your comments and stuff. It's always the same things. Always, always. Trump's gonna win. You're gonna be the cause of Trump. Or, and you posted several times that, people are just like going at you. And I said, people love to say they stand with Black women, and but then not those Black women. And you're in that interesting predicament where you're a strong, intelligent, powerful candidate who is an African American woman, and that enough is it's not enough for them to say, like, order you to change your vote. You either stick up for people and appreciate their voice and what their choice is, or you don't. And
And I mean, it's just, I came into this realizing that because I am a Black woman in the United States, that there are, people gonna come at you sideways, upside down, because this is how they talk to us. I've had people like basically, well, what are, you know, negating what I have to say even before I say it, because, heaven forbid a Black woman should be an authority on anything. So, you know, it isn't surprising. It is tiresome. I have grown
absolutely.
a rhino skin with this election. I promise you.
Oh, I thought you
I
said
am
something
like,
else at first. I thought you said someone called you a rhino. I was
oh,
like,
I
what?
wish they would. No, ain't nobody that stupid.
Well, no, because we call Dems dinos because they're Democrat in name only. So
Yeah,
I thought maybe a rhino was like Republican in name only or something like that.
funny. Nah, I was saying, I came into this thinking that I was a lot thicker skinned at the time than I actually was. And now I'm good.
Absolutely. And I mean, so we all know Howie Hawkins. He's run, I want to say 25 times, over
Like that.
25. So, but he has more momentum now than ever before. And a lot of people credit that to you. Because who it no, let's look. I mean, a lot of people say that they wish you were on the top of the ticket and things like that, but you wouldn't want that.
Absolutely would not want that. This is being in the position that I'm in is more than enough. I'm a very private person. I do not enjoy this level of exposure. I don't. I like to be, you know, in my own little space and very quiet, and to be, in the place that I'm at is not comfortable. But I also understand that for what we need to get done, it's necessary. And there's a certain energy that I am able to bring to this, because this is something that I believe in with my whole heart. So it is what it
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, so a question I constantly get asked, can you please ask her, are you personally, or even you and Howie, running to win or to get the 5%?
Both. I want the White House. I'm not gonna lie. I want it. I want I want what that would mean for us as people on the left, as working class and poor people, as socialists. I want that. I want to flip this bad boy. And I mean, us winning would make it so that this uphill battle that third and fourth and fifth and whomever parties are having to fight for ballot access, for respect, for people to talk to us like they got home training. I mean, all of those things, we get the White House, that's over. That's over. There is no more, you're a spoiler, you have no right to run. Why are you even in this? You shouldn't be here. All of that goes out the window. And I think that,
Absolutely.
I mean, that's massive.
Oh my gosh, yes. And then on the same side, how do you feel that Kamala may be the first woman and also the first black woman? Does She's not going to be setting a good precedent. So that being said, do what are your fears about if she would be the first one?
Her policy stances, and the fact that we are not in a place as a country where we are going to, if you're trying to truly make change, systemic change is called for. Senator Harris has no intention of challenging this system. So that's a problem right there. It's problematic that, she also brings this law and order background and mindset to her platform. That's not what we need. And so those things are concerning to me, because you're not someone who's going to stand up, for the environment in any substantive way. Joining, like what she said about, well, we're going to rejoin the Paris Accords. Yeah, that's beautiful, but you're continuing fracking. It doesn't, you can join all the accords that you want to, but you're not putting any teeth in it. You're still continuing practices that are horribly polluted. But, this is the topical stuff that I'm talking about. And it's just frustrating.
It is. It is. And on that note, one of the things we're seeing this time, and I don't remember seeing it in 2016, but this time we're seeing a lot of just vote Biden and then push him left.
Good luck with that.
I can't think of a single time that has worked. I've seen people like Obama who duped us into thinking he was left and then moving right. But Never saw that one. So I made a post yesterday that said, I don't understand why people are so upset about Amy Coney Barrett. They could just push her left. And people just went off at me, but I was like, look, it's true. You're saying it's cool, like just push them left. So if we are holding our votes to ourselves and we are saying we will not vote for you unless you give us Medicare for all, Green New Deal, and you're not giving it to us, but then we vote for you anyway, you're in, what leverage do we possibly have to get you to suddenly move left?
That has been my question. What do right now these people want something from us? They want something from us. And they will say, and I'm going to say it for the first time out loud because I can't help it. And I'm talking to you, so it's okay. You know what they used to tell us when we were teenagers about boys? You give them what they want. And then you don't have anything to bargain with anymore. Once you give it to them, they don't talk to you anymore.
That's a damn good analogy. Holy shit, that's a good analogy.
Been in my head since like the beginning. You're holding this thing that these people want, and they're gonna say whatever they have to say to you to get it. And once you give it to them, even if you are giving it to them hoping that the policies that you really really want, they're not on their platform now, that they'll just somehow show up out of the kindness of these people's heart or whatever. Yeah, I mean, that is just, you have nothing left to bargain with. Once you vote for these folks, they've gotten what they wanted from you. And they have proven time and time again that they don't have to be responsive to us. They've shown that. And we're looking at it.
And they don't try anything to convince us of anything. It's you're stupid, you're worthless, you're wasting your vote, you're a Russian bot, you're a Trump supporter. That just changed my mind right there. Now I'm going to vote for Biden. Like, they're not, if somebody asks someone, tell me a reason to vote for Biden besides Trump. Got nothing. Cricket. So it's just, I mean, it's scary. What do you think is going to happen with the election? Not necessarily what do you want, but it's November 4th, you wake up, what do you think it's going to look like?
I don't know. I think that in so many ways 2020 has been unprecedented in uncountable ways. I think this election is going to be part of that. And we're in Mercury retrograde, which is not helping anything. It's like, who even does this? Like, really? Why? So, and they're already making moves with trying to impede people's ability to vote, access mail-in ballots. We don't know, and I'm thinking of all the chicanery that occurred in the spring elections in Wisconsin, my home state, Lord Jesus, where people, it was an utter fiasco. And they found ballots in barrels and warehouses and things like that. I'm going to be as optimistic as I possibly can, but in all honesty, I have no idea what this is going to look like.
I know, as a Pennsylvanian, I am more and more sure that Trump will win our state, just because of many things. Like when he holds rallies here, even when he has COVID, it's like thousands and thousands of people. Biden, not even close. And the thing is, Trump has a movement. It's disgusting. It's a dumpster fire, but it's a movement. So, and they put up someone who, their best talking point is he's not Trump.
I didn't understand that. And when Sanders, honestly, as someone just watching this happen, when Sanders was forced out of the race, I was like, who does this? Y'all had a landslide in your hands. Why would you do that? And then you field someone like Joe Biden. Are you serious? I was like, if I did not know any better, I say y'all were throwing a fight, to be honest with you.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I mean, Trump is the best thing to ever happen to the Democrats. I mean, their money's gone up. They don't have to take responsibility for a damn thing because they just say, well, but Trump did this. And I mean, it's actually it what would happen if Trump would lose is they'd suddenly be called out on stuff and not be able to be like, well, um, it's just residual effects from before Trump left. That's all. You know what I mean? It's going to be harder for them to say it, but I think there's so many people with still so much cognitive dissonance that if Joe wins, they're just going to automatically think everything is so much better.
Yes. And what you were just saying a minute ago about, there within the absence of this so-called supervillain, which honestly, if you look at policies and you look at the things that the Democrats and the Republicans have been bipartisan on, it's some pretty horrible stuff. So it's like, y'all need to stop pretending, first off. But my question is like, who's going to hold them accountable? Because we don't, people right now are in a place, those of us on the left, we're like, look, we ain't got no time. You're not getting no air. We know what you are. We're calling it out. But for the average mainstream Democrat voter, they are in a place where they don't want to hear any evil, and they're not going to speak any evil. They're not going to call these folks out on their stuff. Like, yes, I'll support you, but this is what I need you to do, and this is what you have not done in the last few decades. Mm-hmm. I'm not giving you my vote because I'm happy with you. Nobody's saying that. And once he's elected, they're not going to say that. People want to go back to sleep. People want to go back to being, whatever normal there was. And I hate to break it to people, but there is no normal anymore. COVID changed that. These rebellions that continue are changing that. And do you think it's going to stop just because this cat is in the office? Black Lives Matter was born under a Black president. Stop it.
Absolutely. And that's what I do fear. I mean, Black people, have to keep fighting regardless because you guys are just owed way too much and you're putting up with way too much shit. But I worry that so many of the white allies are gonna just kind of stop showing up at those protests because if you look at the way people answer things, people are calling COVID Trump virus.
Oh.
And saying things like it wouldn't happen if Hillary were president.
No, say that's not true.
So I'm like, they literally think if he's out of office, like, ta-da, no more Nazis, no more COVID, no more, like it automatically just like start fresh.
These things, it's like and I'm just thinking of all the people that have been in the streets in the last few months, people who have been awakened by COVID, because COVID laid bare so many things people were able to just kind of like not have to pay attention to. It brought it right to them. And so I'm very optimistic that a whole lot of people are awake and are not going to be able to go back to sleep. And I also am aware of what you just said. Like, people are like, I don't have to deal with this. This is, this is that thing. It's not this. I'm out. And so I hope that people realize that, what we've been saying all along, the person currently occupying the White House is not the disease in this country. He is a symptom. He's a big, nasty, ignorant, ugly pimple. And I'll tell him that to his face. but he is not the system. The system is the problem. And the system that allowed someone like him to be put in a position of power is the problem. And it goes to the core of this country. And we don't want to be honest about the fact that we are going to have to confront who we are as a country. And it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are in for a rude awakening, especially if Biden wins and not a damn thing's going to change.
He said that.
I know.
He said that.
Yeah, but I don't think he meant it like that. I think maybe he meant like, I don't know, changing clothes or something. I don't know. I'm sure he didn't mean it that way. It's constant rationalizations. Did you see, I know you said you didn't watch the town halls. Did you see the clip of the young gentleman, young Black gentleman who said, besides you ain't Black, what can you tell us about what you would do to convince the many Black people who are not considering voting to vote for you? And I was just like, oh my God, I love this kid. I love this kid. I want to hug this kid. Because, I mean, he just stood up. Besides, you ain't Black. What are you going to tell us? And Joe Biden then talked about pre-K and a home buying credit.
What?
The kid, he was probably like 18, 19. He looked young. And I'm thinking, how do you even know he has kids? And like, nobody's talking about buying a house right now, dude. Like,
oh my God.
I know, it just,
I'm like, where are your handlers? Because first off, he's already been questioned about specifically what would Black people benefit, how would we benefit as diverse communities in this country with you in the Oval Office. He's been asked about this. And so just being able to anticipate that somebody's going to ask you this again, why didn't somebody have something ready for that? I mean, really?
At least keep it on topic, for crying out loud.
Pre-K and home buying credit.
Which I'm pretty sure would help everyone. So that's not really anything about race equality.
But even with something like that benefits, because to be completely honest, when you're looking at, like the central pieces of our platform, except for reparations is extremely specific. But when we're talking about community control, of the entities in your community, that you have self-determination, which is the thing that has been denied marginalized communities, is going to look different for Black people, for Indigenous folks, for Latinx folks, for Asian folks, and for white people. It's gonna look different, but it's something that benefits everybody. And so it's just like, there were so many things he could have said to that. Like, but then again, he would have been lying because reparations is not in their platform. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I had to think about that for a minute. Like, no, it ain't there.
The guy's face was just beautiful. He was like,
oh,
entire time. I was like, Joe, just stop. Seriously, just stop. Just stop.
Oh, just say nothing.
Yeah,
I don't have anything for you.
Yeah. Even I thought maybe he would just say some platitudes like, well, it'll be better under me because I like you more. Just anything.
But he doesn't like us more. He doesn't.
I know.
His record proves he does not. He is never like.
I forgot to say, Joe's first remark was, well, I was friends with the good John Lewis.
Oh, no.
I was like, all right, here we go. It's on.
That is so cringe.
Do you know who my boss is?
I'm glad I didn't see that. I would have probably just like found something to throw.
And then, I didn't watch the VP debate because I I can't handle her laugh. To me, it's equivalent to the Hillary cackle. I can't, like, I just got goosebumps. Did you watch it?
I had to.
Yeah.
I live tweeted it, the same way that I did with the presidential debate, but it's pertinent to me. Being a VP candidate, you need to know what these folks are saying and where do we differ. Good God, it couldn't have been more different.
Yeah. This will be a 24-hour live stream, guys.
Like, really, y'all? You really, people went into that debate with a little bit more of an expectation that those two candidates would be at least more decent to each other than the nonsense we saw with the presidential debate. They weren't. They didn't get into, like, calling the dozens and basically, your son did this, your family members. They didn't hit the gutter. But as far as, like, simply being respectful of the moderator, or actually sticking to the topic, yeah, no, I was like, where is the substance? Where's the substance? I don't give a damn about your platitudes. I don't need to be, every time Pence spoke, it was like you expected, like, a flag waving majestically in the background and some inspiring 80s, American ballad playing or some garbage. And I was just like, shut up. This is disgusting. And Senator Harris was marginally better, but it was also like the platitudes. And it's like, we don't need platitudes. Tell me what you're going to do for people who are immediately facing eviction. Tell me what you're going to do to stop this march we are on to human oblivion under climate change. Tell me what you're going to do about that. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And that's what's interesting this time, because in 2016, the Dems would just lie to us all the time, even though we had receipts. They don't even care enough to lie this time. They're like, nope, not going to do it. Next question.
You get nothing. And it's like, I appreciate, and I say it all the time, I appreciate when my enemies identify themselves and make it easy for you to find them and know where they are. I always appreciate that. And at the same time, it's like, come on, y'all, try to pad it up a little bit, put a little sugar on it. You know what I'm saying? People ain't ready for this level of just like, we don't give a damn about you.
Yeah, the bar is so low, it's literally 6 feet under at this point.
Is there a bar? Is there a bar?
I don't think so. I think it dissipated.
The individual in the White House, thinking about how low that bar is. This is the same cat that served, like, McDonald's to young athletes coming to the White House, having done really amazing, works, as far as, sports, and also, making sure that their grades were, you were supposed to celebrate these young people. This cat served them McDonald's. There is no bar anymore. We are trash as a country.
Oh my God. That's so sad. Oh my God. In Pennsylvania, I'm one of the states that you guys were taken off my ballot. Now, and I believe it's Pennsylvania, Texas, and Wisconsin.
In Texas, the party in Texas fought that, and we won.
Good.
But Montana and Wisconsin, which is my home state, so that's real personal for me, and Montana, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania.
Okay, now Pennsylvania does have write-ins. Do the other two, do you know?
I believe that Montana does. I know Wisconsin does, because I sent my paperwork in, and I'm like, I haven't heard that they've tried to kill that too. So
Well, that being said, because the mass majority of people who were going to vote for you guys are saying, I'm just going to write them in anyway. I mean, the thought that you can celebrate getting the Greens off the ballots because you honestly think those people will go to Joe it's baffling. People are Greens because they don't like Joe. That's what they didn't understand about Hillary. Well, if they wouldn't have written in Bernie or voted for Jill, they would have voted for Hillary. No, we wouldn't have. No, not a chance. We would have stayed home. And they're gonna find it's not gonna be any different. Are you guys registered as write-in votes in any of the states?
Yes, okay. You have to send in paperwork specifically saying that. And yes, that's what we've done.
Okay, awesome. So even like, in Pennsylvania, you won't be on the ballot and we have a write-in, they would still count.
Yes, it will not disqualify your ballot. We are certified write-in candidates, yes.
Jenna, did you hear that? My friend
write us in safely. Your ballot is safe. We resubmitted, paperwork, and it just irritated me, especially doing it for Wisconsin. And it's like, I did this. Y'all literally pulled us off the ballot because I moved 4 miles from where I used to live. And it was like, well, you didn't get your paperwork. Yes, I did. My paperwork was submitted with my current address as requested. My current address submitted with the petitions. They had no reason to do this. And it was personal for me because these people know me. They know me. They know my work in that state. So yeah, that's
absolutely awful.
My dog, don't you pee in that bed. She's doing that walk. I'm like, hey, I just cleaned that. Don't you do it. Lay down.
What do you think would happen if we actually got ranked choice voting?
I think it would be a very interesting landscape for all of the parties that are not currently getting the attention that they deserve. I think it would be very revealing about what people really want. I think it would be something that would attract a whole lot of folks who abstained. Like 100 million people abstained from voting in 2016. If we had something like ranked choice nationally, how many of those folks would be encouraged to come out?
Absolutely. One thing that Jenna says she wants to see the dog.
Dita. And see, I put her up because sometimes she can, like, our campaign live streams, people are used to seeing her. But like when I'm with somebody who's not, H2O, then I'm like, okay, you got to go in your enclosure. Let me go get her.
Jenna, you're so funny. I want to see him too. Hey, the puppers. Come here, baby.
Come here, baby. Come here. Wait.
Hi, gorgeous. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Miss Joy.
Oh, you're too cute.
I found her.
Oh, really?
I found her. She was wandering the side of the road, and I brought her home. She didn't have a collar, didn't have a microchip. She was full of ticks, hungry, thirsty.
Aww.
And I wasn't gonna leave her to be splattered.
Oh. God. Now I'm gonna pick mine up right here.
Look. Did I wake you up? You gonna meet a friend? You're gonna meet a friend.
This is Duchess.
Oh, hi, baby. Look, Dita. Look, Dita. Say hi. Oh, you see her.
She's fixed.
Well,
Oh
Dita's had puppies, so
Oh, she did.
She's the vet says she's about 6. People, everyone that I've talked to feels like, whoever had her, they got the litter off of her and then they dumped her.
Aw.
Oh, she's a spoiled brat. She's terrible now, so she's fine. She's where she needs to be.
I have. Wait, let me turn. She's on my arm. That's spoiled.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Say hi.
Say hi. Say hi, Dorothy.
I went. Oh.
Did you say hi, Dorothy?
Oh.
Yep, this is Perdita Petunia.
Oh my God, I love
You want
it.
to go lay back there? You going back to your bed? I'm sorry.
Aw.
We wanted to meet you.
Bye, sweetie. Oh, okay. People are dinging this. Ah, there you guys go. I only trust people who love animals. If you don't, I don't trust you at all.
They know. It's like little kids and animals know decent people from bad ones. They just do.
Absolutely.
Stay here.
So we can talk some about the actual platform now. We, a big part of the Greens has always been environment. Yes. Always. Now, Joe has come out and said, no Green New Deal. He said it numerous times. Trump, of course, does not have that as well. With what scientists are telling us and how much there's a dire need, why do you think people aren't just running to the Greens at this point?
I think we are, until you are in a situation where you cannot deny that what you're seeing in front of you is climate change and that it is urgent, that it is right now. We like to tell ourselves things are great. This is being managed, someone else is handling it. This isn't as bad as they say, unless you are, someone who's in the Gulf of, Louisiana and Alabama and all through there, where they're seeing hurricanes coming one after the other. Even living, I've lived through hurricanes. I lived in the South for 15 years before I went back to Wisconsin. Now I'm back down here. It's never been like this, not with them coming one after the other. And then, with the fires on the West Coast, where it's just like, come on, y'all. The sky is the wrong color. It was 100 degrees in the Arctic. What will it take? And, people, I think, who've witnessed these things are more ready to, let's talk about climate change. What are we ready to do? But people who are not feeling it as closely, it's easier to ignore it.
Absolutely. We're going to start seeing more and more climate refugees. That's going to become so much more prevalent, and I don't think people understand that. Many people aren't even aware of that term.
No. And thinking just about the fact that, with COVID, the, Latin American countries, through the Caribbean, countries in the Caribbean and things, they decided, let's get together and create as a unit, as a federation. Let's figure out food security for our people. because, with this pandemic, and also thinking of the ways that, those are the countries, that's where, when you want to feel the impact of something like climate change, it's in these other countries. They're right here. And so, just thinking about the fact that this is right here, it's right now, it's frightening. And listening to the VP debate, where both of the candidates, well, Pence particularly, wielded the support that Senator Harris had given the Green New Deal, as crappy as it was. Like, let's just be honest about that. People are crediting, well, y'all took the green. I was like, honey, they took it from us. They watered it down. They tried to sell it to y'all, then they scrapped it. Don't get it twisted. But just listening to Pence use that as like a club to hit her with. And I'm like, why are y'all talking about the Green New Deal or a Green New Deal like this is a curse? Do you understand where we're standing right now? And it's just like the most frustrating and also depressing. I mean, I came away from that whole debate. I woke up the next day with the worst climate grief hangover. That, yeah, it is serious.
Yeah, it doesn't give you a lot of hope for the future at all. Um, One thing I wanted to talk to you about is I cannot think of his freaking name. Dario Hunter?
Okay.
That's the guy who also ran green, right?
Uh-huh.
That's, okay. No, somebody asked me to ask this. I'm not familiar with him at all, to be quite honest. I hadn't heard, you guys were always the ones I heard of. That's why I was like, well, they're going to be the nom. So I didn't really pay any attention, to be honest. But he has made accusations that Howie was uh, essentially cheating. Do you want to say anything like in response to that?
I'm trying to dig for my most diplomatic and professional way to say this, and not say this like I would say it if we were not recording. Howie didn't have to cheat. He didn't have to cheat. When you have a platform, when you are essentially the person who, with other folks, I'm sure, but you wrote the Green New Deal. You were part of a group of people who wrote Medicare for All. What do you need to cheat for? And this is something that had been leveraged at us and thrown at us constantly through the primary. And it was exhausting. Nobody had to cheat. He didn't have to, Howie Hawkins did not have to cheat. This man has been working on this stuff for decades. What would he need to cheat for? If you want a platform that people in this country will respond to, and the way that they've responded to this one, you don't need to cheat. And he didn't.
Perfect answer. Like I said, even as a journalist who interviews candidates, I hadn't heard of him in it, like till like maybe 2 weeks before you guys had the convention. And I'm like, that's because you guys were like, like as far as like popularity and stuff like that. So I was just like, who is this guy and why is he? Yeah. So I just wanted to give you a chance to like say something. And I appreciate the fact that you did that so classy. That couldn't have been hard. That couldn't have been easy.
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't. Oh, it wasn't at all. The things that I could tell y'all about the behind the scenes of that entire primary. And I'm not going to, that's tea that I'll always keep close to my chest, because it's things people don't need to know. But I do need people to understand that this was a fight. It was a fight, and it's still a fight. And that's where I'm gonna leave it.
Right on. Well, you guys have I mean, we're in voting time. You guys, our people are already filling out their ballots and everything. What is something you want to tell our viewers if they're still undecided, or but if they're like, I really want to vote green, but like, what do you want to say to them? And also something that they can share with their comrades or family to maybe get them to consider to go with you and Howie instead.
I think it's just important. One of the things that we are not going to do and have never done is to vote shame people. We understand that there is a lot of extremely justified fear. And I want people to know that you are not irrational for being concerned about the individual currently in the White House retaining that space. That is very concerning. And so when people are saying, your platform is like my 81-year-old grandmother, as a matter of fact, I love your platform. And, I talked to her today and she was like, my absentee ballot came, because she's in Wisconsin right now, but she's registered in Florida and she's going back down there. But she said, I showed everybody, that's my granddaughter on the ballot, which was dope. But I already know she didn't vote for us. And that's a discussion we had. And I understand, I get it. If you are afraid and concerned about, this climate staying what it is, you do what you feel is best and let that be that. But for people who are finding that their soul is offended by the fact that the Democrats take your vote for granted and don't have to offer you anything, why waste your vote? Just like what you and I were saying earlier, right now, these people want something from you. That's your leverage. It's your voice, as cliche as that is. And you have an opportunity to speak up for what you have been asking for. Medicare for all, a guaranteed income for all above poverty. You want an economic bill of rights, and you want a full-strength eco-socialist Green New Deal. That's something people want. If that's what you want, then vote for us, because we're the only ones offering it. But at the same time, we understand. So, I mean, just telling folks, it's your decision. And voting outside of the way that you've always been taught to requires a lot of courage, particularly now. But this garbage about it's not the right time for a third party, they're going to be telling you that for the next 100 years. At some point, it has to stop, and we have to stop it. So.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if you saw it, but about a week or two, I posted on Twitter, I met a woman from Congo. It was actually in Vermont. Bernie was having a town hall with immigrants, and pretty much the whole audience had come from Congo and now lives in Vermont. And this woman was sharing how she didn't have a choice when she voted. She was told, vote this person, period. And then she came to the United States and she saw, I have a choice. I can select someone. And then she was talking about how vote shaming is the craziest thing to her because we're supposed to be a democracy. And she said, it doesn't matter what box you check. That's your right. That's your choice. And I thought, oh my God, I never thought about it that way, that someone as an immigrant, how they are seeing this, when they have been ordered to do something, they don't even have a choice. And they come here and people are acting the same way, even though it's not law.
And, this thing about us being a democracy, for someone like my aunt, who's like, she's not like this heavy political person, but she's involved. And her question was, why don't we have other choices? And I'm hearing that resoundingly in a lot more spaces than I have ever heard it before. Like, why are there only two? Why is this what we're stuck with? We don't have to accept it. And that's what I think people need to just be reminded of. Yes, it's frightening. Yes, the implications could be one way or the other, but at some point, you are going to have the courage to jump, because this thing is not going to change. These people in both of the parties have no incentive to do anything that we poor and working class people in this country are asking for. They don't even have to acknowledge us, and they don't. You notice that their pandering is usually to the middle class, which is BS. But it's not going to change until we force it to change, and we have to do it, and it's going to take courage.
Absolutely. If either Biden or Trump wins, who do you think it would be?
That's going to win?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it'll be Biden, simply because I think that a wide enough swath of the population of this country, enough people have been affected by COVID and have witnessed this administration's absolute ineptitude, criminal ineptitude in the face of it. I think if nothing else, yes, Biden is, but I think that this will be a referendum against that individual currently occupying the White House, as it should be. But I mean, there's so many other things you could have gotten on. But if this is the thing that it takes, if COVID, and I say that because I've heard that and read that in a lot of places where like people are like, I supported him before, but this is, because someone they knew was sick, because they were sick, because a business went under, because it couldn't, folks who were supposed to get small business money didn't. So many different things. And so I think that, my forecast is Biden, for the simple fact that, COVID buried Trump and continues to, with people who are actually thinking.
I still think Trump might pull it out again. I really do. I don't know why, but I don't know. I kind of feel in my gut that he might, but
he's going to try some stuff. Now, I think we need to be prepared for that. He's going to try things. No matter what the outcome is, he's already trying to show his hand, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, these next few weeks are just going to be insane.
And it's not over. It's about to get wild. Like, right, people are concerned about a lot of different things, and one of the things we've been telling people is, if you are able to be a poll watcher, if you're able, I've done election protection. I did it with the ACLU a few years ago. And the person that I had removed from the polling place was at the time a sitting Wisconsin state representative intimidating people. This is real. These people come in suits and ties, and they encroach on voters. They glare at them. Yes, and you can see it on these people's, the voters' faces, especially new voters, with all their little documents in their hands, and they're looking at this person, and then they look at you. And, you can't interact, of course, but you can smile at them and let them know it's okay. It's going to be okay. We're here to counteract this. But you can see it. And so for people who have never, done poll watching, this would be a great year to do so, because it's going to get real cute.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, we're in for interesting times here coming up. The one thing that's humorous in an infuriating way is that even if Biden wins, we're still going to get vote shamed, like without question, because but you didn't know that he was going to win, so you should have voted for. Look, Pennsylvania is not going to lose by one vote, so get on those damn phones.
My thing is, with the Democrats is what I've been saying. Stop trolling us. All you're doing is irritating us. We're not listening to you. We're voting the way that we are voting because we know what we want. If you are so concerned about people showing up for your candidates, hit them phones, hit them doors, do whatever it is you need to do to get that 100 million that abstained in 2016, get them to show up for your people. Leave us alone. Because quite frankly, vote shaming after I'm not a candidate anymore, I got some work for that. They can get this work.
Exactly. You know, I'll always have your back too.
They can get this work now. I got to be good right now. It's candidate Angela, but after this election, it's gonna be 19th and Keith Angela. So try it if you want to.
Yes. It looks like there's a few people saying they voted for you in the comments.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys. So thank you so much for coming back. I always love talking to you.
Amazing. It's a pleasure.
Is there any lasting message you want to leave with them to maybe, share this show with their parents or their friends to kind of say maybe they're undecided?
Absolutely share it. And when you're talking about this platform and you're trying to, sway someone to vote, this way, talk about what it means to you. Your own personal, what resonates with you is the most powerful thing, that you can give someone. And it's very easy for me to tell folks, I can support this platform and I can represent for it because this is my life. I am working class. I need Medicare for all. I need safe and healthy housing access for all. I need an economic bill of rights. I need community control of police. These are personal to me. And so I think that when people are talking about this, tell people why it is personal for you. Why do you care? I think that's the most important testimony anyone can give about anything. Why does it matter to you? What does it mean for you?
Absolutely. If you want to check out the comments on YouTube afterwards, there's so many people saying they voted for you. It's so great. It's exciting.
It's so humbling. I mean, it's not something you can ever just like, thank you is not adequate. It's not enough. This is, yeah, it's like you want to cry and bury yourself under like a mountain of pillows. I mean, it's huge. I don't think y'all understand that. It is huge.
Yeah, what an honor. That'd be amazing. Well, you are worth it. You're freaking awesome. You know how you're like you come on my show and your head's like this. You leave my show and it's like I'm only like this with people I like. I have this like fangirl thing with certain people I interview, and I was like rambling today, like, oh my God, Angela's is coming on again tonight. Oh my God. Like
totally mutual. I mean, you're one of those people, and I'll be honest, I don't love this. And so like, but you, anytime you ever want to talk to me, you have all access. Anytime. Always.
Thank you so much. You're the
Thank
best.
You.
Thank you for tuning in, you guys. Monday, I have 2 Green PA candidates, Jay Ting Walker and Mike Badger Cannon Badger. And then Wednesday, I have Benjamin Dixon. So I have a lot of great shows coming up. So thank you guys so much again for watching, and best of luck, Angela. I know you're going to be kicking ass.
It's going to be something.
Take care.